the woman secretly aborted her newly conceived child without her husband's knowledge. She then discarded everything related to her husband, quickly printed out the divorce papers and had her husband sign them. The husband didn't think much of it and signed it without hesitation. What this CEO did not realize was that this signature would tear their marriage apart. The reason this woman took such drastic action was because her husband had been secretly dating an albino. It turned out that it happened to be their 5th wedding anniversary. The lady waited for her husband at a restaurant, but the CEO never showed up. Later, she learned from the news that her husband had returned to the country with that albino and had even settled her in his home. For years, whenever her first love called her to ask her to meet him, her husband would drop everything to go see her. Now that his white moonlight has returned to him, the woman realizes that she is nothing more than a substitute in her husband's eyes and that her role in his life has lost its meaning. Without hesitation, she decides to end the marriage for which she has fought for 5 years. That night, she rents a house outside to avoid seeing her husband with her first love. Meanwhile, the husband returns home with Yuki and realizes that his wife is missing. At that moment, he remembers that his wife is waiting for him at the restaurant. He instructs the housekeeper to have his wife wait in the study until he returns and then leads Yuki into the room. At this point, opportunity to push his wife out of the room, so he secretly calls the woman and uses a passive-aggressive tone of voice to tell her to call the president and reassure him. She also said she didn't want the president to worry about her. The female understood her intentions and calmly hung up the phone. Surprisingly, the heartthrob girl thought that the female card was looking down on her, so she gambled and called her again, so she made an appointment to meet at the cafe the next day. By the end of the day, the heartbeat girl waited for a long time did not wait. Just then, the woman appeared in front of her. Seeing the woman appear in front of her, the heartthrob girl got up and wanted to hit the woman, but was blocked by her wife. At this point, the wife tells her that she is willing to divorce the president, but on a few conditions. She pulls out the divorce papers and tells the woman to have the president sign them without her knowledge. This is because, at their wedding, the husband told his wife there was no divorce, only widowhood. At this point, the CEO was eating breakfast at home. He found the bread unusually difficult to swallow, and even the coffee tasted bland. When he asked the housekeeper, he realized that his wife always prepared breakfast to his taste. Even when she was not at home, she would let the housekeeper know his preferences. But now that his wife had left for several days, he could only eat what the cook made. The CEO then realized that his wife hadn't been home. The CEO tried to call and scold his wife, but the phone couldn't get through. The CEO got up with the intention of going to find his wife, not realizing that his wife's plan was just beginning.